Hi, my name is Emmy. Welcome to my channel. This is day 2 of the 12 days of Yule. If you're jumping in now, is my daily ritual over the 12 days of Yule. I go from December 20th to the 31st. I have a few different approaches. If some areas feel more aspirational, then it might just be wishes for the new year. If there are areas that I'm continuing some needed work, then I'm setting new affirmations. Maybe I'm also petitioning the Yule fire to help me breathe some life, get some things going in certain areas that I'm wanting to either expand on or take into a different direction or come to a close, come to a culmination. So then maybe throughout next year, I can begin to do some different things or leave certain areas of my life open for new opportunities. That is what we're doing here with us following the house system, with it being day 2. Day 2 is all about the assets, part of your life, resources, talents. I will grab my book that I used yesterday. I don't normally have a giant bean behind me, but we will also be decorating our tree because we decorate our tree late here. We have it up from the solstice and then we take it down after Candlemas has passed. So if you needed an excuse, if you needed somebody to point to and go, hey, they keep their tree up later, I'm happy to give that to you. The second house is money and movable property as opposed to real estate, values, attitudes towards wealth and property. In traditional astrology, the Greek word for the second house was bios, which means life, because there's the whole idea that you're earning your livelihood and that with it also being values oriented and around resources, it's also what you value, funnel your energy into, what you also decide to have around you. That's also, I feel, very second housey. There's also, I think, the layer of with money in general, because in a sense we are, if you wanted to treat these 12 days of Yule as more of a journaling activity, then this could be a good opportunity to just reflect for now on money and how you relate to money. And if you are treating this more like a manifestation exercise as a time for injecting new life, renewal, things of that nature, I also do want to offer some money magic related things as well, because that's the other thing that I think can be tricky about the second house, about money magic in general, is money magic isn't just blowing cinnamon through your front door. And even logistically, there's also the element of that is deeply inconvenient and also not great for pets. So there is this element of it's the thing that I feel like we hear the most as practitioners, and yet it's also the most inaccessible thing that is said. So here are a few things I want to offer. Again, no shade to cinnamon because I love cinnamon. I'm having a Mexican hot chocolate as we speak. It's huge because I gotta wake up. There's so much more that we could be doing, I think, that can be personal and aren't just the same old, samey. You can do money work with plant allies that are not commonly associated with money magic. And honestly, I feel like that can work out so much better than a lot of us are willing to give it credit for. Because one, you already have the rapport, the relationship built up with that herbal ally, and some of the issues that you might be running into around money and money magic might not be money as an amorphous thing. It could be your relationship to money, where you are, how you are making decisions, whether or not it's coming from a place of honoring what it is that you're actually wanting to call in. For instance, when we're thinking about money stones, maybe we're inclined to think, oh, citrine is the merchant's stone. You should just fill your home with citrine. No, don't do that. Amethyst may not immediately come to mind, but the beauty of amethyst is that it will help promote calm decision making, support and promote clarity. Maybe the thing that you actually need to help you embrace prosperity and to maintain various things is that you could maybe not be making the best decisions around money, the most like aligned decisions around money. And it could be a matter of needing to lean on that ally more, if anything, for those purposes. Along those lines, money magic can be tricky because there is a magical element, there's a mundane element, And there's also that deep emotional, mental aspect that requires addressing as well. I think it's really important if you're wanting to make this a priority in the new year or before even getting into the questions to help set up a bit of context and framework to help somatically prepare for it. I think we really need to make sure that we have our people that we could talk to about money. And that has to include debt, how much we're making, how much they're making. Again, the more you openly talk with your colleagues about what you're making, what they're making, the more we can actually advocate in their places of work as best as we can. I think there's also this element too of people not prioritizing protection magic enough because again, I feel like it often takes a back seat because it's not as cool as glamour magic. It's not as mancy as being like a manifestation babe. But babe, you can't manifest anything if people are giving you the evil eye, and you are going to have a harder time being able to connect and make sales and put yourself out there if people are making it. That's something that I think we really have to make sure that we're upping, especially if you're taking your business in a new direction in 2026, making sure that as you continue to move your business up, scale things up, you have to scale up your protections and to think about who you're serving, who will also have eyes on you, who amongst your competitors may be giving you the evil eye, because that's the other reality is more often than not the people giving us the evil eye are people we know, and it is oftentimes not intentional, but again, it's that moment where people look at you and they give you that shady look, and then I gotta go home and do something about that. It's when you go and you pick up a wash. We've all been there. I think with figuring out when it comes to any kind of money magic working, deciding what is worth doing, I'd say the top two things that are definitely worth doing for anybody is figure out a money bowl system that will actually work for you, that you will actually maintain, because it has to be maintained. It can't be a one and done thing. I'm also calling myself out because I should be going and working the money that is in my money bowl, and I'm not doing that. So it's also, I'm never going to tell you something and then either not call myself out or acknowledge, oh, I do this as well. I'm naming it because I know I'm bad at maintaining it. So that is something that I know is an area of improvement for a lot of us out there. Is a lot of us saw on TikTok, oh, money bowl, woo, 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 woo. I love that. Have we been paying attention to them? Are we doing with them what we need? Again, with the money bowl, is that money needs to flow in and out. You have to take money out that you have been working and then feed it back into the ecosystem of the economy. And then you have to put money back in and work that money. And money needs to flow both ways in order to act out its will in that way. If we're thinking about the spirit of money as something to bring into the conversation as well. Do your abundance work on Jupiter days. Treat yourself on Venus days. Do your foundational or savings or big picture work on Saturn days. Continue to think, again, holistically about the different ways that money needs to move in order to be money. Because we all know what it looks like when people hoard money. It's not a great look. The other thing that I think is really worth investing in, exploring as far as navigating money workings in general, is figuring out what spirit work is really going to speak to you the most, will really work for you, because I've had a mixed bag myself with ancestors. I'm working on it. That's always been complicated. You got to look at your relationship with the living family members, because that can often be an indicator. And yeah, things are weird with my living family members and money. So it's like, well, no wonder. But it is something worth, I think, exploring further down the lineage to see where we can maybe repair a little bit, make amends somewhere. And I've had my best go of it with deities. Hades has the epithet of Pluton, of wealth. Hermes has been able to really help me in a number of ways, especially as I am more communication heavy as a business owner, as a creator. The fact that I'm doing this is very hermetic. Helios, I will lean on a lot when I'm feeling afraid and wanting to step in, let myself shine, even helping me to just feel more revitalized so I could continue to show up and serve people, because you can't pour from an empty cup. Persephone, as my matron deity, I feel is so supportive in all of these ways, but especially reminding me that I can be many things in my business and that there is a season for everything, that there's a time where I will need to be on, or I'd be busier, where things will be slower, and helping me, I think, navigate all the feelings that may come up, all that shadow that comes up around worthiness. A lot of shame, a lot of that pain can come up with money as well. And I do feel that I have felt more emotionally, spiritually supported and also more resourced as a result of having that kind of support, but also feeling like I have more capacity to show up and to share my work, which again feeds into being able to make more money down the road. As far as Astro Magic, of the system that we're holding to for the journaling today, it could be helpful to look, of course, at your own chart if you do have that information available to you. Being a Libra rising, Scorpio is my second house. I do find that I am able to show up and to put myself out there when I'm being strategic, when I am letting myself do work that is deep shadow work. The fact that underworlding as a program is something that I'm so excited about is rooted in helping people explore the depths and to be committed to truth and really rooting out whatever isn't working and then arising anew. These are all things I think that are really great to dig into around exploring money, exploring your money wound. And if you can get even more specific, that works out even better. To speak from the eye, with being a second house Scorpio and having Pluto natally, I also learned that my Black Moon Lilith, the true Lilith, because it moves, there's the mean, the average, and then there's the true Black Moon Lilith. And my true Black Moon Lilith is conjunct Pluto. So it's like, okay, no wonder I'm very drawn to the shadows. No wonder I have had historically some issues around money and feeling shame around it. For a little bit of context for people, the Black Moon Lilith is this point in space that is named after the mythic figure of Lilith. It is often representing exile, these darker parts of ourselves, things that we feel like we can't put out there or show. Again, when I think about my background as a practitioner, I've been a death doula for over a decade and generally drawn to the macabre, morbid topics. It's one of those things of doing money magic, of confronting money wounds, I think is chalked up to being able to do that self-work and do the mental work of exposure, of naming these patterns, of naming where these things are all coming from for you. But here are the questions that I want us to really sit with, tinker with, and reflect on, whether you are journaling on it or if you do want this to be a part of an affirmation for 2026. What is your current relationship with money? Do you fear money? Where did you learn to fear money? Did that come from upbringing, seeing other people make decisions that you then deemed risky? What safe things did you learn about money that you realize now may have been holding you back? Consider growth and also what you owe. Are you making enough to stay on track with your goals, like debt reduction, student loan repayment? Times are harder than ever, so if a job change is hard or not fully doable right now, then what can you do to adjust elsewhere? Whether it is around how you relate to possessions and how you relate to the amount in your bank account right now. What can you forgive yourself for spending money on that someone else would call frivolous, but ultimately fuels you to keep doing what you need to do in order to survive capitalism? What resources that are not money, but are cash money to you? For instance, we love our records here. We love our books. We love our library. I love the art and trinkets and everything that I have amassed from travel that I've gotten as gifts from people. We have a well-stocked kitchen that we've been building up over the almost 10 years of us being together, my husband and I. We're able to take that well-stocked kitchen and then turn things out and make a wonderful meal for the two of us, or to have a lovely gathering of friends and family. Wealth is more than the amount of money in your bank account. Is there a single small change you can make to make it feel like it doesn't control your life, but it is simply another part of your life. Something I've embraced with the placements that I have and the life that I've lived is that money can really shape how you feel. It could impact your health. It'll impact decisions that you make around your health and friendships. It'll even impact your sense of safety, whether it is a matter of feeling psychologically safe or even could be physically safe. Mindset and being in community with the right people is an incredible game changer for feeling like you can at least be at peace with where you are right now. It's not a matter of settling, and you could still have goals and want whatever it is that you feel will be the ideal, like the dream that you have for yourself. It's still perfectly fine to want things, but there is also the reality of being in transit times, things being rough. How do we figure out how to live in the middle? How do we figure out how to live with the messy middle at times? I've had the experience back in the day, not even too far back, where certain friends were really weird around money, and that definitely played a role in things with them long term. And it wasn't even so much that they judged me for making less than them or they had an inheritance and I don't have one. There's that reality. Money was always weird, and that made them feel weird, and then we were just in this loop where communication was also impacted. So that's part of, again, going back to the whole money is both money, but also is so much more than that, so many ways. So I think it's so important to make sure that we have people we could talk to openly about money, people who we could tell them when we're struggling, we could tell them when things are working out that feel really great, not in like a flaunty way, but again, we should still be able to celebrate when people are able to turn things around for themselves. And you really can't fully appreciate that or talk about that if you're not talking about it when things are hard as well. So that's something I really think is key, is like so many of us have this shame, the shame around debt, the shame around money, and so much of, I think, the problem with money is that it's really important to try to get to a place where money is neutral, where money is just another part of life. I think that the key is really letting yourself disrupt the cycle where you're no longer as pressed with, I can't talk about money because that's socially acceptable. I feel like once we begin to finally disrupt that cycle, that's where it can really make a lot of big shifts. It doesn't mean that it'll all dissolve with that one decision, but I do feel that if we're able to just confront the shame elephant in the room, because money is a part of that shame elephant, then we might be able to actually make more traction than not. That's the tea for the day. It's always a hefty one. I know it can be one that is a little bit harder to wrestle with, to sit with, but it's worth doing. And it's going to be an ongoing process, like with anything. Thank you all for being with us for the second day of Yule, and want to take a moment to thank our patrons for sponsoring this video. I want to do a special thank you to my Conjurer tier patrons, Georgia, Karina, Jess, Laura, The Wowls, and Mallow. Thank you all so much for making this video possible, and thank you again for following along. We look forward to having you for day 3. Bye for now.